Okay, so we're back.
We're back.
Hopefully with sound this time.
Hopefully.
And we're not going to go through everything, so that's our censor button.
Right.
So we can get back on this roll. So personal responsibility. So just because you see it on TV doesn't make it okay.
Right. And that's the problem. It doesn't mean it's okay, but it's a shame because it seems like society deems it to be acceptable.
Right, of course.
See on TV.
Of course.
So it's misleading to what we see on TV versus reality. Like when we was talking about Hollywood setting the standards when it comes to fashion.
Right.
And these little girls trying to be this next person. And this next person ain't barely got nothing on.
Right.
But yet this wants to be walking around outside with on her end. And yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about because
Right.
you see it all the time. You see it at Walmart. You see it when you have an interview. You got kids coming to interviews with a nice shirt on and sweats. Now, what the is your dumb thinking that you really gonna get this job coming with some sweats?
Right?
Yeah. Stupid. Yeah, you already know. You already know. And that's acceptable now? Right. Come on, when is the standards of professionalism drop down? Was it when we started texting how we speak? And now we want to text how we speak and write like we text on a paper?
Right.
Are we gonna get rid of MLA format next? I mean,
right.
You know, music. Joni Mitchell wrote that song "Sex Kills."
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard that one?
Yeah.
That explains it right there,
Right.
basically. Right. But I don't know. Some of the people in the industry, the higher ups, they see Europe, and Europe, on the TV shows, you watch not BBC but others, and they have women just showing everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And then so the ones over here say, look what they're doing. Why can't we do that here?
Right.
Well, we got regulations. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So then they made all the X-rated, the men watch at night or whatever,
Right.
And
I was like, it's something. It's funny because when you say it, like, because I've been overseas, and one thing you do, you're so open. Just peeing outside in America is a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
But you just pull over in Europe, man. If you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah.
They go hop out, pull the car over, run to the nearest tree off the road, let it loose, come back, get in the car, and drive on.
Right.
Depends on where you are. If you're in Indiana or Tennessee, they just get off.
Right.
You don't do that in New York, but now San Francisco, you can poop in the street.
Right.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
Woo!
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do it.
What you doing? Oh, nothing. I'm just over here crapping.
Yeah. Can you hand me the sports paper?
No, I read that one. Give me the sales section.
That's terrible, bro.
He's sitting there going, oh crap, there goes my toilet
But
paper.
I mean,
blowing away.
But in essence, with TV though, American TV, so the censorship, there's the rating system, and they're setting the standards, and there's standards per rating system. But what they're trying to do, broadcast wise, is they're trying to keep it vanilla, right? So they're trying to keep
Vanilla.
Yeah, they're really trying to keep it vanilla. So like the very basics of
Why vanilla? Why not cocoa? No, cocoa is
Trying to keep it.
No.
Understand.
I understand.
It's just the word
vanilla. He said vanilla. You see this undertone, Mr. Porter, over here?
Yeah.
No,
vanilla ice.
Right.
No, but vanilla is the very basic, right? So when you want to upgrade, you add chocolate syrup, right, and make it chocolate, and that ups the game, right? So the ratings on TV is the very basic vanilla. Like everybody can eat vanilla.
Yeah, man, but I distinctively remember when TV changed.
Yeah.
And a lot of our audience, depending on your age, you could say, I don't remember this, or you do. When that show In Living Color came on Fox, when that show went off,
right,
TV changed. The bar was pushed because of Jim Carrey, because of Dana Carvey, the Wayans, because of the skits that they had on that show. it pushed the bar. You know, when you
Yeah.
talked about church and
Fox,
Satan and
Fox at that
Fire
time
Marshal
was the, because they're so far,
they were edgy.
they're a right wing television
And the
channel,
Simpsons.
right? And so they
You know?
push that bar of liberalism and saying we're gonna push the edge of censorship. You know,
Mhm.
that's what they did with the Simpsons,
Yeah.
with Married with Children
Mhm.
and Living Color, and they did those things that were just right there on the edge
Mhm.
of being acceptable by censorship, not necessarily by audience sake. Audience were like, what?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
When I
And
saw
some people did,
Simpsons,
some
was
people-
like, oh, this is so refreshing.
But and then,
Just to hear this, and then you see this dude's bantering back and forth. You didn't even. It was the banter that they started to have.
right.
You knew what they were insinuating without those verbs, the verbiage.
Right.
You know, but
Yeah.
now we have the verbiage.
Yeah.
Now with
Well, and
the-
yeah, and even now, like Fox is like pulled way back as far as that goes. Now they
yeah, they're the conservative ones.
yeah. Well,
Usually
they're-
the most radical end up being the most conservative. That's
Right.
what my belief.
yeah,
The ones that went through the mill and just radical as can be
Mm-hmm.
end up being conservative later.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've seen.
sure,
But not in all cases.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
There's still guys like Cheech and Chong, you know.
Right. Right, more accepted, and even if and you take that right there, you take the stigmata about marijuana over the country. Like I said, Snoop made weed acceptable. You know, everybody Snoop. I mean, we had Cheech and Chong,
right.
okay, and that brought the awareness and the popularity,
Mhm.
and then the everyday appearance of this person that smokes, and you're thinking, oh, he's a bad person. No, he's not. You know what I'm saying? He's not. But when you really think about who besides Snoop, really every day you would see, and everywhere they go, this is them. This is what they're doing. You know, it made it acceptable with this man. Who else was there? Who else was there?
Mhm.
That was that person that was tied to this so much everywhere they went.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Besides
Yeah,
us, but he was the
Yeah, he made it a trademark.
right, the figurehead. He
Yeah.
was a figurehead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Marijuana is.
Hmm?
Marijuana is.
speak for yourself. Stop
Well-
pushing this damn.
well, I mean,
Marijuana has been classified as a Schedule 1 drug.
yeah,
That's
no, don't
bullshit.
shake it. No, it has. What?
That's the government wanting to classify it as
Yeah.
a drug. But what's a drug? Ain't that? Don't you make a drug? You don't grow a drug.
Even though it's found medical use for it now, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of Bob Marley, I'm saying still it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but it had to be done responsibly. So
Right.
that's I got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not trying to
Nah,
be biased,
that's
even
the
though
government.
opinion is biased,
That's
but
the
that's my
government.
opinion.
So so in your mindset, at what time of your life did marijuana become a drug?
When I got educated about it. That's
But-
what.
So
Right now,
That's a big
I'm
difference.
going to school right now to be a addiction and substance abuse counselor. I learned a lot of things about it, and I'm not saying bad. I'm because it's definitely things that you use for medical wise, but I'm just saying what it is classified as. Because you said
Right.
it wasn't. I said it
Right,
is.
because they want some way to control this product. So we have to label this product. We have to say that this product is what? A drug. It's not a drug. You
True.
grow it.
Well,
You grow corn.
it's
You
a
grow
money
lettuce.
opportunity.
You see what I'm
too.
saying? We
Exactly.
All
have
the
to
politicians bought the stock.
There you go.
know.
right.
we got to categorize this
Right.
so now we can make some type of sense
Well,
and set a standard
It's like
of
prohibition and
There you
beer
go.
and whiskey.
yep,
Same-
yep. So
same
we have
deal,
to we have to figure out a way to control this product because it's now
So
mainstream.
we got
thing.
breath tests now for some type of test they got.
Yep,
Yep.
saliva
In the car.
Yeah.
Man, you got to blow. But he's dropping jewels. You just what he said. Stop. Pay attention to these words. Mr. Potter was saying.
Well,
Like, stop.
the problem they're having in Colorado and Washington are they're going too slow. Remember Cheese and Chong? They're
Yeah.
sitting there, they're going 30, like you said, 35, and it's a 60 mile an hour.
Right.
They go, are we going fast? No, you're not going fast.
No, you're not.
But I mean, seriously.
They're stopped at the stop sign waiting for it to turn
Right,
green.
like when the stop, it's a sign, bro. Oh, that's right, man. That's cool.
How about we get into a part of the show where we're going to pick the brain of our guests.
Absolutely.
How about we do that?
Okay, but it's so good what we're talking about because the censorship is so broad. It's like, okay, like you said, because we talked about, okay, censorship versus money. Who pushes that line to say that this is now acceptable when it wasn't acceptable before? Censorship and sex. So you can't say that the film group is the same one that controls publicity in magazines, are they? I don't know. Is that what we say? Or can we say that?
I can tell you.
Okay,
Let's find it out, Mr. Porter.
All right. Sumner Redstone, I don't know if you know him or not, but he owns, I'm not kidding, he owns Viacom, Sony, Columbia Pictures, MTV, Simon Schuster. Yeah, he owns all that.
Wow.
So he hires you and you and you to run those companies. So he's the one that says, I want you to do this, this, and this. And then they have to listen to a boss. And then they hire people, and it just filters down like a pyramid. And then there's certain shows that the development execs buy. And they have a lot of power to development execs, but it's the guys, the acquisitions people up on top that buy it. And they answer back to those guys. So you got Rupert Murdoch, and you got all these different guys, Fox News guy, and you got
Ted Turner.
Yeah, Ted, and then now Mark Zuckerberg owns CNN and Facebook, and so those guys at the top are running the show, basically. I don't want to get too heavy here.
Oh, get heavy.
But
Get heavy.
There's like 26 families who run the show, and the financial. So, and some are good in there, and some are bad. So, and it gets down to a spiritual battle, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
You know, it's adversary versus good, and so it's always been that way from the beginning. But so anyway, back to the topic. I think that those people are the ones that control what's going to be coming on and what's not. You know, they can tear down the system, and you get back to the conspiracy stuff like the New World Order,
Illuminati,
all those things. Those guys want to take over the U.S. and that's the last stronghold is us.
Right.
So if we can come in here and take that over, like George Soros and all those people, and then we'll have that new world, which is going to be BS. It's like communism.
Exactly.
So I don't want it, you know, and I don't think my kids want it. And,
for sure.
And
we came to America trying to escape tyranny and monarchy. And
I call it Victorian, but my wife gets mad. But it's all those Victorian values that you get away from. And now we got freedom. Now we can do this. Now we can do that. Right. Some of it's real good, and others now we got control. Now we can dominate.
Yeah.
And so this is why, in a sense, it's so hard to get in the club because of like the 20 family control.
Yeah, they got gatekeepers.
Yeah.
So, you know, they give you scholarships and you go to the right schools and the Blue Book Society.
Right.
And then
they'll have your parents buy you into college.
Well,
or buy the college wing.
Well, and that's what happens. And, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's people who pick themselves up by the bootstraps and get themselves up there.
For sure.
And then they figure it out too. You know, they still can have all these things, but you know, you can't take material goods with you when you go.
Sure.
You can leave it to your kids and everybody else.
Yeah.
So I just keep hearing power.
Yeah.
It's well, we can't let you in the club because then I got to give away some of my power. 48 laws of power. You know what I'm saying? keep that wealth to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep thinking, well, what does it take to change? Like they say, when it comes to was it the Grammy board or the panel of behind the scenes of how predominant it is of so many people on the panels, white men, so many people on the panels, white women, so many people on the panel is minority, but basically it's like, a 90 and then you got a 10% or you're 97%, 3%, 2%, what would it take to change like that structure? It would have to take somebody with the power to relinquish some of their power, which I don't see that.
You don't see that?
I wouldn't see who would want to give up their power.
I see what
you what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because if I hold the seat in a sense to having a majority,
nobody's going to relinquish power. You got to take it.
But how? That's the question. How can you? When
you just got to. You got to endure. That's what Tyler Perry's doing right now with building his new studio. The first black anybody to have a major studio. Yeah. The African man. I don't know he's the first person to have a studio, a major film studio, in Georgia, and he's got a ton of support behind him.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal.
If you work together, you can pull off all kinds of things.
Absolutely.
I think John Snyder, remember him? Dukes of Hazzard, guy, singer. He went down and built a studio in Louisiana for the tax incentives, and the Louisiana's government spent all this money, and his thing just about went down. So he joined with Tyler Perry. See, they went together, and somebody else did too. So they got 3 people building that studio now, so they can have more power to get out what they want to get out. Because they're being shunned away from the other guys that's been dominating all this time. And those people, by the way, are all mid-80s, late 80s.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be around. Like Sumner Redstone's daughter runs all the Six Flags. So she doesn't want anything to do with any of the other stuff. So she's thinking about just selling it off. Yeah, I know that for a fact. So
Jules,
all those companies I told you that he owns, she's just going to get rid of. So somebody's going to go, oh, let's get that.
Yeah.
Then they changed the whole thing over. MTV. I don't know. I get frustrated because I see how it progresses through the years, and
it's funny you say MTV because I remember the old MTV to the new MTV.
Right.
MTV nowadays, y'all button.
I know. I want to say the same thing.
It's MTV nowadays. Nowadays, MTV ain't nothing but. Boop, 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 boop. I mean, they really who that Bleep wants to see Big Brother. 2 people sitting in the damn bed in the dark talking. That's not TV, dog.
Yeah.
That's boring. That is boring. Yeah. That's like I need to watch Kardashians on Facebook, but now you're gonna put it on the thank you air and say that this is entertainment, and then it be on at 9 at prime time at night.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't have nobody watching your TV show from 7 to 8 or 8 to 9 because we watching football game, basketball game, Grey's Anatomy,
something else.
And NYC, LA Law and Order, whatever. LA Law, that's a classic though. But Law and Order,
But watch coming soon for Dr. Jesse.
Boring stuff. Good point. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's just like.
And there's a great children's book called Hash Gets a Scab. It's a great one as well. No censorship involved. It's great for kids.
Yes.
You'll love it.
And it's a whole lot better than MTV.
Definitely better than
MTV. You enjoy your time with that.
And you learn, and it's good.
Yep.
Good for everybody.
Yep.
That's type of things we want. I want to kind of jump back on the subject about picking Mr. Porter's brain about how do you actually feel about censorship? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing by being inside the industry? Like, is it needed or?
No, I think it's needed. Yeah, I think it's well, yes. If you have good families, say Christian families or whatever, and no matter what, the kids don't need to be exposed because they have cognitive thinking and their brain isn't ready for certain things like that.
Right.
So, it's like a friend of mine, this kid came over and the night before, his dad took him out to a movie that was R-rated where the dad killed this mom. So then the kid went to my friends and with his son, he's up all night worried about his dad going to kill his mom.
Right.
And,
True.
and then the kid's not ready for that.
They're developing.
So you don't allow that. So now they got a new system that you can block all that. And so, and you control it, not your kid. The kid can do whatever he wants.
Right.
So I got to tell you this real quick. It's something totally different, but same. My mom and my brother, and he was at my mom's house, and she used to turn the heat up all the time, one of those little old ones. He'd turn it down. He'd turn it up. So finally, one of his buddies said, just take it and reroute it over to the closet. And then she can come up here and do all she wants. It's not doing anything. You control it. You control it over here. And so she would just always be feeling like she, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's a control thing.
So,
It's a control thing.
And so the kids don't know.
Perception versus reality.
Yeah, and then there has to be good things like bash and good things.
Dr. Jesse.
You don't have to all be goody two shoes. You can have some things that
Yeah.
gradually help them think.
Well, that's why the TVs come out with like the rating system. So just to give you some more dry, boring information, so the TV rating system. So because I didn't know this, so I don't know how many of you all know this. Like when the TV show comes up and it has that little black and white rating, like TVY or TV 14. If you don't know, so I'm going to go through it real quick just to explain to you what they all mean. So now you will know. So TVY is for ages 2 to 6. So that's everything like Sesame Street, Dora the Explorer, Bob the Builder, Booby the Bear, coming soon. Watch for it. Yeah, exactly. So all that stuff is TVY. And then TVY7 is 7 and above. So that's like your Transformers, your G.I. Joe, cartoons. Right. All that stuff. Power Rangers. Well, except for Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, and Transformer is going to be more TVY7FV. So that's TVY 7 and above, but with fantasy violence.
Yeah, because right there we got grown men watching Transformers.
Right.
And G.I. Joe. Right. We could be rearranging the daily schedule depending on if that movie come on and we about to leave the house. Oh, it's Transformers. Hold on, I'm gonna have to do it.
Hit the DVR.
Record button.
Right. So, and then there's TVG. So this is for all ages, but it cannot be broadcast between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So that way kids aren't up in the middle of the night thinking, oh, my show's going to be on, right? And then they can get confused with whatever is on. So they limit that. So it's more of a...
So hence anime, the Cartoon Network, when they go to the nighttime with the animation.
Right. So all that stuff's not going to be TVG.
Right.
Right. So that's the more mature.
Right.
So that goes into the TVPG, which is the parental guidance, which is still above that. That's probably more Family Guy, Simpsons is probably PG, the TVPG. And then you have your TV14, which is not for under 14, and it can't be played before 5 p.m.
See, that's now it goes into calculus. Now you're just talking.
Yeah. And then finally, there's TVMA, which is mature audience, which is only between the 10 p.m. and the 6 a.m., which is your Adult Swim.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. Wife is trying to find the show. We're live now, babe. Yeah. Well, I do, except for I have this one. account.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So what you
So yeah, so all that's just it's the broadcast ratings part of it for the censorship, but it's to help the programmers and the viewers to understand, okay, this time of day, this is what this means, this is what this is for. And so that certain times of day you can limit your kids to what they're going to watch, the content. If you don't want the fantasy violence, but they're not quite 2 to 6, you look for the TVY7, which would be like the animated series, and so on and so forth.
So I wanted to pick your brain on this, Mr. Porter, your opinion on this one when it comes to censorship over everything. And I notice how we're not really so censored, or there's always a battle when it comes to censorship over the internet.
The internet.
Right. Because you can have how they say, for instance, we have these things that show up on Facebook. Oh, we're trying to get a hold of Facebook, take that down. Oh, you got to move mountain and a hailstone to bring that down, to remove something from the internet, versus a retraction you'll make in media. If we had a misprint, or you just said something that was really wrong, it was so easy to say, okay, I correct this in the next edition. I'm going to correct the misprints. Or if it comes to TV, your next episode, you can
Facebook
go back to your
jail.
show. Right. But when it comes to the internet, we seem to have really a lackadaisical setup when on basically policing the internet. We have so much false information out there. I mean, you could degrade somebody, if you want to, real easily. Defamation of character happens all the time, but there seems to be no recourse on this. So, what is your opinion as far as how this battle comes? Do you ever think we're going to have something actually formatted?
Maybe. There's a couple of lawyers that are working on that in Congress, but I'm not sure how far they are with that. So I think that's down the road. They don't want to have it censored, but they should, on just like TV. There's certain things that, business-wise, I did this Doors Always Open video. I own the rights to it. It's all the country people. Some guy got a hold of a copy and put part of that on there and got 3,000 some hits. And I said, he doesn't own that. I want that down.
Yeah.
But I had to prove that I own that, and I had to send all this stuff. And, I just scanned it all, sent it all, and they just took it right down. So then that guy said, you can't do that. So I own the rights. You don't, So,
right.
But now the other just, as far as comments and people can get vicious, even the politicians are going on there about Trump. I don't want to get into politics.
Right.
But, who should be the assassinated? What?
Right?
Oh, there's all that out there.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it was just terrible. That's all you see.
Right.
And people don't understand the implications of assassination when it comes to your own country.
The
go back and
implications of their opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of times you do so much damage to your opinion on somebody, depending on who your audience is or how big your audience is.
Well, and it stretches beyond just the person. So you may be thinking that you're putting a one up on Trump, but what you're doing is you're damning the reputation of America. Right? It's like you got to understand that first. Yeah, there's a bigger picture to that.
And who's doing it?
Right.
I saw some guy that was just 350 pounds and had swords on him. He was just an idiot, right? And said, this is the one telling you this.
Right, yeah.
And I just was laughing. But you never know who's on the other end putting that stuff out there.
Right.
So, go ahead.
I say like it used to be with the sex chat things. You're in the thing doing the sex chat.
Remember the little voice thing before the cell phones? I forget what you call them, but and I hired this one company, and this lady always answered the phone for me for my company. And then I never did meet this gal, So finally I had to turn that thing back in. She had the sexiest voice. I mean, really sexy voice. And I went down and she plump as could be, pretty in the face, but just big mama, you know. And I'm just going, you thought I was really something. And I said, yeah, I really did. She said, I really did. And I said, I'm sorry. You know, no, I get this all the time. Well, I was wanting to say you ought to go into this business.
Right, the phone second business, yeah.
Voiceover. Make a lot of the voice, off the voice. You know, it's so crazy with that. That was a big thing that I know we got to keep it moving. We got some other topics here, but that was one thing because I really see that's the biggest battle going on right now is the internet and really.
Well, and the big battle with that right now that I just kind of came across was, I don't know if you know Gina Rodriguez. Mm-hmm. She's the gal that played Jane the Virgin or whatever on the TV shows. So she put out this social media video where she was singing along with a Fuji song. And right in the middle of this one line, it has the N-word. And she sang it, you know, but she was singing along and her hairdresser was doing her hair or makeup or whatever. And she was just singing it social media. And it came out this big deal. And the funny thing is, like when I read the headline, because everything's so PC, I read the headline as Gina Rodriguez gets in trouble for singing the N-word. And I'm like, who sings?
Right.
I was actually thinking she was singing N-word, N-word. I'm like, who sings the N-word? Like, you know, that makes no sense. I was just, for whatever reason, that was going through my head was N-word. But, you know, so she had to come out and give this apology that, you know, she was singing the song that she loved for the Fugees, but it had the word in it. And it was just the most ridiculous thing. I'm like,
I'm thinking that. Who the hell was thinking?
For real.
N-word. Wow, man. Wow.
That's crazy though.
That's crazy, man. So, hey, I wanna ask Mr. Porter, you said something about your friend in a situation with his son, where he thought he was afraid to go to sleep thinking that his father was gonna hurt his mother. Right? In American TV, why is it okay for them to show gruesome violence but not sex? When gruesome violence is more threat to morality than sex is, like so far as censorship, why do you think that is?
It's just a choice of the development people that, you know, different studios, different companies, you know, networks, and then who's choosing the projects. But that's who you have to go to. But I don't know. Sex is, they want to keep that, they think that's protecting their innocence. And then the others, the violence and all that, you know, that's acceptable because everyone gets into it and they're fighting and this and that. And I don't know. I get lost on that myself. But, I mean, it's just people in charge. Like I go to DreamWorks and animation, and they don't want any more animals. They want people, animated people. They don't want any more animal stuff. And I said, well, fine. So I have a few, you know, the clients, and I tell them that, and they come up with things overnight. And I'll send that in to them. But they're real picky. Some of these development people are real picky on what they want. But like I said, they have power to pick and choose, just like in film festivals. You know, I've been a judge in many film festivals on films and screenplays. And I'll pick the ones I think are the best out of 100. And then pass it on up. So I tend to, I mean, I like drama and historical and things that are going to teach you and entertaining. You know, I don't want Vampire Santa.
A zombie movie. That's one crazy.
You know, I mean, geez. I was telling Aaron, a guy had one that had every aspect you could ever want in one page pitch to me. You know, it was There was UFOs. It was what was it?
Werewolves, lesbians,
Oh,
I mean,
Lord.
vampires,
Yeah.
UFOs.
Gumbo pop.
Right.
I just said, what the
It was called
beep?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It was called This Is the End of Morality.
Yeah.
Right.
He just put everything in one box.
Yeah.
So when you say that, it gets me like you say they don't want no more animals because we know that when you use anime and the animals, we're targeting our little children up, but are they just saying like that's a saturated market now? Do you think?
Yeah, saturated.
Right, because I mean you still got kids talking about I want to see Frozen 2.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Well, there's different. There's
Yeah.
different
Yeah, that's Disney.
Yeah.
ones they want.
Yeah.
Disney tends to lean towards the gay side.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I didn't know about Disney. There's some people that know about Disney. I know about Disney.
Yeah,
Yeah, Disney has two worlds.
yeah,
Right.
two worlds.
The outer world, which you see, and
Yeah.
the inner livings.
Right.
But
Wow.
It actually comes to an interesting film, a good one to watch if you're into screenwriting and development. Saving Mr. Banks is a great movie to see, like a behind the scenes as far as what a company has to do to
Yeah.
obtain the rights to a story
Yeah.
and then develop a story. I saw that. I was kind of reluctant in seeing that movie, and then I watched it a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, "This is a brilliant film." Not for the content was great and the acting was great, but for me as a writer, an upcoming writer, to see this stuff, I was just like, "This is."
I'll tell you another one was Bowfinger.
Oh yeah, Bowfinger was great.
I showed
that
my
movie.
wife that she was laughing all the way through.
I love Bowfinger.
Yeah,
yeah, both figures.
teaches you all about what actually happens.
Yep.
Everybody's sleeping with everybody.
Right.
Just to get to the top.
Great film.
And Eddie Murphy was in that too.
Yeah,
Got to climb the ladder.
yeah.
Yeah,
He played two roles:
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Kit Kincaid.
yeah. Kid Kincaid.
All right. Kinky So we got the okay, so censorship, which rolls in. We got music.
Yeah. So as you all know, there's
Censorship and music
censorships in music,
goes with it.
and everything else. So, but we don't apply to that. You can obviously do we got the typical and gangster rap and LL Cool J and all those things that push on. But we have our music assignment. That's where we're going, right?
Yep.
So we have our music assignments that we do every month.
Yep.
You all know. So normally on the month-to-month basis, we've been assigning each other albums and artists to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go through our assignments. Then we have a new feature, and Mr. Porter's going to help us out this month. So look at that.
Magic box.
So we'll get to that. So we're going to go through our assignments. Who wants to start?
Yeah, let's
Which
let
one
Benny
goes?
start. See the enthusiasm he has over this music assignment.
I'm an enthusiastic person.
It's just showing.
All right.
Bouncing off of me.
Trisha Yearwood was my assignment. Now, Hearts of Armor, coming from premeditated thoughts of my friend, my brother, Bill, I was expecting it to be very down. But I am a writer and a creator, so the words that were portrayed on the album expressed a lot of emotion and experience, and I actually enjoyed it. Went to my family.
He's going
Right. He sounds just like like when I go around my friends that used to drink. I don't drink anymore. That's saying I'm going through a thing, right? Oh, it's called growth, right? That I'm just expressive, right? But I was thinking like, well, certain music you don't listen to. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. Like, you know what I'm saying? People don't listen to, look at the national series with the Astros was winning. Some people don't look at that.
Dog.
But
Man, that's some sports.
But
We'll
that's
get into that.
yeah. But me, I enjoyed it. The writings, my favorite song was when she was expressing that she was on the wrong side of Memphis. Need to get, that was, I really enjoyed that song. I really enjoyed the album. It was good writing. Right now, I'm into a show that's on TV called Songland. And on Songland, it's a bunch of writers that go on there and try to get their songs picked up by different mainstream artists. So I'm being aware of words that's being written now. So when you want to understand words that's written from emotion and experience, Trisha Yearwood hits that spot. So far as country music, because of Aaron, I am open to my wife. Like, what are you doing? Ooh, I don't want to listen to this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying when your circle is more cultured now,
I tell you something.
It's gonna. That's a negative response that you're getting there. But hey, to me, I enjoyed it. I continue listening to it. Every majority of the things that you bring to me, I enjoy it. I like new music. I've been stuck in a box for a minute, So I enjoy getting new experience.
I love the reflection because I didn't think it was all that good, but he did. That's the beauty of music,
right?
You know what I'm saying? To be honest, it is. It's the beauty of music.
It's not like it's the beauty of the music assignment,
right? You know what I'm saying? So it's honest. It's not like I don't like country. No, like we know on other episodes, I done broke down. Yeah, I like some country. You know what I mean? I like some Leonard Skinner. I like some Hank Aaron's. I keep saying that. Why I keep saying Hank Aaron? Yes, I like some Hank Williams, even Hank Williams III, even Hank the Third. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do, but not her. But that's the beauty of music, So it's like a radio station. You don't like it? Turn to another.
That reminds me of my wife. They trying to sit down and watch the baseball game with me. She was like, so what are you watching? I say, oh yeah, Houston and Washington. She said, oh, I'm sitting here watching you. So come on, Houston, hit that touchdown. Come on.
Oh no.
And I was like, babe, that's not like, that's like the expression of the name you just said.
Ohio State, baby. That's right.
Yeah. So what was your assignment?
My assignment, I'm sorry, I had a burst. Just have to throw this out there. Ohio State's up 16-0 over Wisconsin. Just had to throw that out there.
All right.
But my music assignment was Leonard Skinner, the Leonard Skinner album.
Pronounced Leonard Skinner.
Banging. Banging. That's all I can say.
Banging.
Simple Man's my song, but he's got some other ones, and I do have them right here. And we just got to go get shout out to Leonard there. I do have my internet open right here. And if we go over here, there's a couple Give Me 3 Steps. First of all, with this album, you actually get to hear the instruments. Yeah. Like this is live. This is the live studio. So the instruments, they're running. Yeah. You actually get to hear them play. And let me tell you, man, my man gets down with this dang piano. Oh man, and I mean he gets going on them keys, and I think that's the things going on. I like the Mississippi Kid. Mm-hmm. I like the Poison Whiskey. I've heard Freebird before, but the Mr. Banker, I like the Mr. Banker because it takes me back to a little bluesy, gives me that bluesy feeling. And I felt a lot of funk with Leonard on this one. I mean, he's almost as musical in this album. The music tone was almost a variance, like the Pink Side of the Moon, as far as the variety of how the music is given. 2 way different albums,
right?
But as far as what this album gives me, I mean, you get the extended play of the keys, the extended guitar solo, and I love that. I love that when you could actually just hear them. It's just not, we're not going to cut you playing off short. Now we're going to let you roll it, and you roll it. And that's one thing what I love about a lot of times about the studio play versus the album play. Album play may give you 3 minutes and 44 seconds of a song, but the studio play, it may actually run out to 6 minutes because it's actually, it's like they're just in a jam session and they just letting it play, just letting it flow. You know what I mean? Play is like flow and play at the same time. So I just combine that word. If y'all ain't picked that up, I just wanted to let y'all know what I just spit.
I was saying in my head, that's not.
We're gonna let that flay. We're gonna let it flow and play.
Do I say something? I'm right here next to him.
Right.
But since you explained
I had to create a word. So it's a word now. even though it's not a word, it's a word because it makes sense. And I explain the word. So on this show, we're gonna make it a word.
All right.
That's a new word for the
That's how we're
BMW
gonna
show.
Flay.
Right.
That's the word of the day for y'all mustard people.
Right.
So that was my thing with litter, man.
So then I had Nina Simone. In particular, I was to seek out Strange Fruit. I listened to Strange Fruit, and it was a powerful song. I actually listened to the whole album, Pastel Blue. But Strange Fruit in itself, this is a song that scares white people. It scares white people, not because of its tone, not because of it's the words. I mean, it expresses a reality. It's a beautiful image that she's painting. That's of this life-giving tree that has blood on the leaves, blood on the roots, and these strange black fruits hanging from its limbs. So this thing that gives life, a fruit, is actually an instrument of death, because it's about the lynching and hanging of black people.
You got it,
right? Yeah, I'm like, what is he gonna say?
And it's so beautifully painted that you can't help see the reality in your mind, and especially when she talks about the smell of magnolia turns into the burned flesh. It's like it makes you, me as a person, to saying, well,
I'm glad I went black.
Yeah, it's not about. I got this image of just white folk walking by and not paying attention to it,
right?
And
it's normal every day,
right? Because to them it's every day, and to me it expresses an image of, it's not about what you do, it's about what you're not doing, right? So because you're choosing to not see this image, you're not making it a part of your reality, and thus making it real. And so and that's why I said it's scares white folk, because it makes it so real. And it makes you go from, oh, it wasn't me, I didn't do that. Like, I didn't do that, to like, well, I didn't do anything to stop it either.
Right. I will tell you something, Aaron. When I had told my wife that I had gave you that assignment, actually, the reason I wound up liking the song because this show called Snowfall, right? It was playing at the end for the last finale, and it had really got to me, right? I liked the song without understanding the song first, right? So this is exactly how. So I gave the song because I liked the song, not because I understood the song. So understand it, right? So my girl was on the other side of the bed. I said, I want you to listen to this song that I'm going to dedicate to you, right? So she understood the song. She said, why would you dedicate that to me? You are such an A-word. And I understand. And I was like, what are you talking about? I really like the song, right? I gave it to Aaron. But you gave your wife, man. Why would you do that? He's going to be offended, right? So then I go listen to the song. And I'm like, oh, they're expressing about this. But then I looked it up. It was like a message that was sent back in the days to blacks through a song to make awareness, like this is what's going on in Mississippi and things like that, right?
Because that song's even before her. I mean, because Buddy Holiday sang it before her, and then even before her, I think it was song
Billy.
Yeah, Billie Holiday.
What'd you say, Bobby Holiday?
Buddy Holiday. Yeah, I was coming by Buddy Holiday and Billie Holiday.
Did it work?
No.
They didn't work.
No, it didn't play. It didn't play.
It didn't play right.
Right. But I'm glad that you once I experienced it, I was like, wow, she's very creative, man. Yeah. And then as you've been one of my Caucasian brothers, I was like, I'm happy he got to experience that. So he can just say, did we just go back to the 1960s with this Afro-American Caucasian? I can say
blues does that. Blues music does that. Howlin' Wolf, and some of those guys, they're talking about sex, but in their own little way.
Right, that's cool.
And this one quit picking at my chicken.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. What is that, Mr. Boyd?
Go get your own chicken and leave my chicken alone.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and if it
I'm
wasn't,
gonna use that.
I'm taking it. Like, my
Come
chicken.
pick on my chicken.
Quit picking on my chicken.
I'm gonna be like, what?
Go pick
what
your
did you
own
say?
chicken. You on the wrong yard.
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah.
That's something right
All
there,
right.
man.
So now time for the new
Oh,
assignment.
drum roll. All right, Mr. Porter.
So, well, let me explain the audience.
Oh.
So we have a list of
Genres.
all these genres, everything from hip hop to opera to folk to.
Yeah.
And we actually going to have
Please pick some opera.
There's two sets of pickings in there. So Mr. Porter is going to pull out a tablet, and he is going to whatever the music assignment is. That's our assignment. He's going to give us an artist.
Opera.
That's
What
what
we
we
got?
Oh,
Pop.
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 Nothing wrong with that.
All right.
Nothing wrong with that.
And big band swing.
All right, country.
Oh, he got something easy. I got something easy too, 'cause I listen to all the music. Pop. Let's go, big swing,
I got
big
big
band.
band swing. Adi, 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 oh.
That's what that is?
That's what I think it is. 45 Kingdom.
So are we coming up with pop artists for him?
You have a pop artist in mind?
I have one for you. I'm gonna give you.
I would
Let's say Debbie Gibson.
I would have tell you K-pop.
No, K-pop's in here.
Debbie Gibson?
Debbie Gibson.
Debbie Gibson. All right. Well, let's go.
You have a big
for it.
band or a swing band in mind?
Got that away.
Yeah. There's let's see. I got a DVD. I just watched this. I can't think of his name. He's a big band.
Okay.
Oh man. I'm just blank.
Okay. How about Glenn Miller?
Well, he's pop.
Okay. And what about country?
Alabama.
Alabama.
See, why you couldn't give me stuff like that? Alabama. I like Alabama. See? That's cool, man.
Did you want a moment?
A moment for
I
what?
got my censor button ready.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
All
So,
right.
as you know, we get to the community part. First of all, we're going to we just got sports to talk about, which real quick,
Go
Browns
Astros.
still suck, which I'm not even going to hit my button. We just going to say Browns still suck. Ohio State's balling. Okay, 17-7 right now. And them damn Astros.
What do you mean? You better correct. What do you mean?
What you mean? You going for the Astros, man. I know they're going to win, but I'm going for the underdog.
Why?
The Nationals. The Nationals. Because what you got to do to take a champ, the underdog got to beat. Ain't nobody beat the Patriots, right? They still trying to figure out how to beat the Patriots. I don't care what to say. When the whistle blow, it's 11-11. All that conspiracy talk, all out the window, it's 11-11.
If the refs were on Buffalo's side, Buffalo would have won that game.
You got something you want to talk about it, Aaron? You want to express yourself?
I'm just saying.
Express
I'm
yourself.
just saying. If the refs weren't playing for New England,
Mhm.
people would probably actually beat New England.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like
Man,
some
what the-
haterade right there.
What are you
That
talking
sounds like some
about?
hater. I'm straight hating.
Wait, y'all are hating on both of my teams.
Well,
so,
I'ma tell you this.
know, you hating on the Patriots and the Astros.
Yo,
Let me do some homework on y'all teams. I'm gonna come back with some haterade, with some extra sugar in it about
Okay.
the Browns. Oh, the Browns are doing a wonderful job. No, they not.
I just told you the Browns suck. I just said
Do they suck?
yes, they do. The Browns need to get it together, man. They suck right now. They got a good roster,
Oh,
but they
man.
suck. But Ohio
Fun
State
show,
right
fun
here,
show.
y'all notice Ohio State's balling. So, y'all, you can talk about Ohio State when you find a
LSU
reason
got
to talk.
LSU got them. LSU got these guys,
All right.
and
All right.
you know.
So again, if you caught us saying
Oh,
any
wait,
cuss
no.
words,
We got a burner moment. Not a burner moment. I hate moment.
I hate moments.
Okay, this is my I hate moment before we get off this dang show. Y'all got your buttons ready? Okay, man. So as I like to say, I hate. So as I coming into the show this morning, Speed limit 45, not 35. So we got 45 one lane, we got 35 one lane, but the 35 person keep getting passed by cars. So when the 35 mile an hour person got passed by an 18-wheeler, they felt some type of way. I feel some type of way too. If I'm rolling and an 18-wheeler gonna pass me, that tells you that you're driving a little bit too slow. So you need to speed your slow ass up. So what happens then? You need to speed up. So when you speed up to 45, then you want to ride alongside the other person doing 45, so then you can't get past no more. So therefore, you got 9 cars sitting behind your ass because they can't pass you. See, that's what I'm talking about. I hate. If you're gonna speed up and pass the car, don't speed up to get by the car. This ain't no Sunday chat when y'all talking left side, right side. You gotta drive your car. That's why I hate. So when you get stuck behind the damn car, you're gonna sit up there and be like, this mother don't even want to move. And if this mother don't move, we gonna have some problems. That's why road rage happens out here when it's 120 degrees outside. Ain't nobody want to drive that damn car.
Oh wow! My finger hurts because this guy needs anger management. All right, my hate moment.
I got a story about the anger management lady too, and her dumb. We gonna talk about that next time. But I'm gonna tell you, they don't even have certain anger management people.
Let me get my hate moment out.
So I'm just telling you that.
Yesterday,
we're gonna leave that where it's at.
Yesterday after payday, I had decided to take. You don't even need the button yet.
24/7.
I wanted to take my family out for dinner.
Right.
We decided to go to Golden Corral.
Okay.
Usually I have a problem going to Corral because it's open food, right? So I didn't eat anything from when I talked to you on the phone all the way to like 7 o'clock. I wanted to go in and make sure my stomach was. And so I'm like, I already know I'm gonna get some chicken, I'm gonna get some fish, some shrimp. I'm gonna get some cabbage. I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna eat this. And as soon as I get my plate and go up to the thing to get my food, someone comes to get a plate next to me and does this. Oh my God! Oh my God! Did that just blow me, mother? What the? I couldn't believe this. Boy, I swear, man. And then not only did he wipe his nose, he was like, and then you know when they tell you to sneeze. Hold on, you know they tell you to sneeze. They tell you to do this, right? I think you're supposed to put your arm close to your nose, right? He do this. I told my family I gotta get you stuff. We just paid $75. I don't care. It just blew me. That's my hate moment. That's what I did.
You unsanitary ass.
Just blew me.
Sticking around here like that. Boy.
I wound up eating cereal last night.
At least it was clean.
Mine's not that extreme. No, I had an apartment.
Okay. She says we can hear us, ladies and gentlemen. We're in a room.
I had an apartment. I put a sign. I was by myself, single, art studio. And I said, before you leave, put down things you hate. So it was on a legal pad, you know. So I had all kind of friends coming. And anyway, I looked at it about 2 or 3 days later. I go down. I hate getting my zipper caught, and I hate this, and I hate that. Finally, this guy, whoever it was, said, I hate people that don't understand the benefits of cosmic consciousness and nirvana. What the hell? And so finally, I went down to a friend's shop. He had a head shop back then, you know, pipes and papers. And he said, did you see that one I wrote? I said, was that you? Anyway.
Cool story, man.
That's awesome.
Cool story, man. Awesome.
We even have a guest I hate. See, I'm telling you, we all have an I hate moment. I always say we all have something that hate's such a strong word, but when you do put it in the right context, it could be real funny. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we're just basically venting in a comedic way. You know, I wasn't trying to be funny because these are things that just bother us, but I call it positive exertion and negative exertion. So we're going to positively talk about these things in a negative way.
What? That's like knowing that milk, you lactose tolerant. I'm going to go ahead and eat this cereal. Okay. All right, cool, man. This was a fun show, man. I want to thank Mr. Porter for coming on, man. It was the best, man. It was the best, man. Yes. The BMW show, the best show in the world.
Yeah, man. And like we like to say, we appreciate you guys kicking us, giving you 5 minutes of the time. Let's get back on this Ohio State game 24/7. And, till the next time, we're going to have some things coming in with y'all. We'll share what the next show is going to be about.
Yeah.
We'll keep it.
Watch. So we're going to have 2 episodes next month. So watch. We're going to bring back Turtle to continue the libertarian discussion. And then a follow-up discussion after that. I have a couple ideas. Going to run through it with my brothers here, and we'll let you know.
Yep, for sure.
So,
as we like to say, Facebook fam, appreciate you. One love. You got to take a light and fasten your seatbelts.
Thanks for joining us.
No speed limit.
We apologize for the inconvenience.
Peace out. Y'all monster that.